Hey guys, welcome to week 17 of Books Being Sick. I am Nick. We are at the 17-week mark here. I have two books that I finished. One of them I just started last night and I finished this morning. It was incredible. Might enter one of the best books I've ever read in my life category. It is, it was good. And the other one was really fun too. Completely different. These are two completely different books. And I'm also reading another one. I'm about halfway through this one here, so I've got three books to talk about. I've got some merch to show you, some new Books Are Sick merch that I'm excited about. And we also have some book club stuff to talk about. The long list poll went live, so I'll share with you the 10 books that we're voting on. The top 4 has pretty much already been decided, so I'll let you know what those are as well. And let's just dive into the books, I guess. So the first one I'll talk about is this one. This is one that I finished a couple days ago. This is the The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. This was really exactly what I needed. I started the month reading about the massacre of Nanking, written by Iris Chang. That was really, really heavy. And I also read The Road by Cormac McCarthy. Two very, very heavy books to read side by side. And so I needed something like this. I asked my wife, what is just a good, happy book that I can inject into myself? And this was it. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. And this is about a very secret society of irregular witches. I don't know if that comes as a surprise or not, but we are following one witch in particular. Basically how this works is there are witches in the world and they can't really be together for too long, or it's just too much magic, or it's not going to work. It's just going to become chaos. So they kind of keep to themselves, and they also can't really be with people. So, they live somewhat lonely lives. And this is about a witch who is just searching for something a little bit more. She gets this random she's hosting a TikTok account, or they don't say a TikTok account, but like a social media account where she's pretending to be a witch and sharing witchy things, you know what I mean? Which is like a popular thing to do for normal people. There's this group of people that are taking care of these three young girls that are all three of them are witches, and they see this girl's social media account, and the oldest person of this group of people, sorry if this is confusing, is like, I know she's a witch. I know she's pretending not to be a witch, but that's a witch. So we gotta reach out to her and get her over here, because they're trying to raise this group of people are trying to raise these three girls, but they can provide them with everything like math, English, sports, whatever, but they can't teach them how to be witches. So they need a witch on their side to teach them how to be witches. And that is what they ask her to do. And then she comes and basically starts doing that. And there's, it's a very wholesome book. The main guy that she's paired with is named Jamie. He's the librarian of this estate, basically. And I think the trope is grumpy sunshine. He's a bit of a grumpy guy. Doesn't really think this is what they should be doing. Doesn't really believe in Mika, who's the witch. And it's the whole book is just cute. The whole book is cute and just feel good. There's the bumps in the road are very mild bumps, and they're honestly more funny moments than anything else. There is some spice in this book, but so that was the only thing for me. The book is so wholesome and so, again, just feel good, that the little bit of spice that does happen towards the end feels like it comes out of nowhere. You know what I mean? It was kind of jarring for me. I was like, oh, you know what I mean? It's almost like listening to a Taylor Swift album and she says the F word randomly and you're like, oh, okay. It's just like, it just seemed odd. So But I asked my wife about that, and she was like, no, I liked it. I that was the best part. So maybe that was just me, but this was a really, really a great palate cleanser book. As I previously said, if you're reading a bunch of heavy stuff and you just need something to make you feel good and just kind of like perk you up a little bit, this was a really, really fantastic one. I don't know any of the other books that this author, Sengu Mandana, has, but I'll definitely read more by them, because I did really enjoy this quite a bit. Okay. Now, I mentioned that I read The Road by Cormac McCarthy earlier this month. That was our book club book for this month. I enjoyed it so much that I went to pick up No Country for Old Men by Cormac McCarthy. And I started this kind of just on a whim yesterday and finished it this morning. I could not put this one down. And I think this one is even a little bit longer than The Road. But it was just, oh my gosh, it was good. It was really, it was everything that I hoped it would be. You know, I love the movie for forever, one of my all time favorites, and the book somehow, you know, that movie has some of my favorite dialogue probably ever, and that was another surprising thing about this book is The Road has very minimal dialogue, and the dialogue that it does have is very plain and like 2-3 word sentences, and there's not a lot of substance to the dialogue in The Road, but I think but it's on purpose, you know what I mean? And so I remember I finished The Road and I was like, maybe that's just Cormac's style, like maybe Cormac McCarthy isn't a dialogue guy. And then I read this and it was like almost the whole book is dialogue, and the dialogue is so deep and cliche word, but profound. You know, the every other page of this book, I was kind of just like, whoa. You know, there's the way that he's able to relay what he's trying to tell you about. It's just like he has such a way with words that just really is such a gentle but needed punch in the face. I don't particularly have any examples because I flew through this. I didn't annotate anything. I would say my favorite part in this book is when Anton Chigurh meets up with Llewellyn's wife. If you've seen the movie, you know that part in the movie, and it's a pretty creepy part in the movie. But the conversation that they have in this book, I love so much, and it also answers some questions that the movie didn't. And the dialogue and the monologue type dialogue that comes from the police officer Bell, the what do they call him, sheriff, Sheriff Bell, I guess would be his name, is just leaves you just kind of like wanting to cry in a very weird way. I don't know. No Country for Old Men. I got to think on this one a little more. I just finished this book like 20-30 minutes ago, and then I started doing this video. So I'm really going to have to just kind of sit and stew on this book and think, really get my thoughts together. So maybe I'll share a little bit more about it in my next video. But this is one of my favorite reads of all time. No Country for Old Men. Cormac McCarthy is obviously an author that I love. And I'm so glad that I started reading him this month. And I'm 2 books deep now, and I think I got to read All the Pretty Horses and Blood Meridian. And I know he's got the 2 newer ones too, The Passenger, and I can't remember the name of the other one. I feel like they might go together. They look similar, so maybe it's like a 1-2. You might know that. I don't know that. Let me know if you do know that. And I'm excited to pick those up and just keep going with Cormac because I love him. I love his writing, dude. It's very rare that I can start a book and finish it the next day or that day. Very, very rare. So let that be a selling point for you if you're thinking about jumping into No Country for Old Men. It was so fantastic. Another book that I'm just about halfway through is The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs. This is by Steve Brusatte. I'm going to say his name is. This has been really, really fun. This is exactly what you'd expect it to be, where you're just straight up learning about paleontology and dinosaurs and what was around before dinosaurs and how dinosaurs kind of came to be the dominant species of the world. And we're, the first 100 or so pages of this is really just this guy just kind of geeking out over paleontology and what was going on in the Triassic period. And it's really, really interesting. But I got to say, when he finally starts describing an actual dinosaur, which was the Brontosaurus, you just get so pumped. You're like, oh yeah, that's so sick. You know, it's like, it's really fun. It's a really fun read. I'm going to keep going with this one and hope to be done that one probably early next week. That's kind of been my like nighttime reader, but I didn't get to it last night because I just kept going with No Country. What else do I have to share with you? I have the Patreon book poll. Oh, you know what I want to share with you real fast? I got to find it. Give me 2 seconds. All right, so I have some new merch. I got samples in this time for the merch so that people can actually see what it looks like before it goes for sale. So this is the books are. This is going to be the new Books Are Sick t-shirt. This is also on the Comfort colors. I love it. I love this color green. People were really asking for like a darker color. So I guess especially people with kids, lighter colors are a little tough. So this is a darker green. It's a mossy green. It's got a very kind of more of like a faded vintage look to it, which is kind of what I was going for. So I really, really am psyched on that. And also, people were asking for this as well. So I got a tote bag here. This is full of books right now. But there's the tote bag. It's a kind of a very heavy canvas, sort of durable tote bag, because I figured probably most people might use this for books. So the sturdier the better. So those are some new, they're not available yet, but I'll let you know when the pre-order for those will be going. It'll likely be towards the end of next week, but I'll let you know. Really super pumped on those. The Patreon poll is the other thing I wanted to mention. So for my book club, the Sick Book Club, what we do is every month we do a long list poll where we vote on 10 books, and the top 4 move on to a final vote, and then whichever one wins there is our book club book of the month. So this month we are voting on Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. I think I have a lot of these, so this is that one. And we also have Jude the Obscure by Thomas Hardy, Good Material by Dolly Alderton, The Green Mile by Stephen King, The Secret History by Donna Tartt, Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton, In 5 Years by Rebecca Searle, Red Rising by Pierce Brown, Born to be Hanged by Keith Thompson, and Paper Towns by John Green. We've already got 179 votes in, so the top 4 is not going to change at this point. So I'll share with you what the top 4 were. Throw in your guesses now in the chat. Don't actually, it doesn't matter. We're gonna just give me 2 seconds here. I'm just gonna pull out. Actually, I think I own all 4. So the top 4 that are moving on, I'm kind of surprised by 2 of them. This is the one I was most surprised about because this one came in second and almost first. Is Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. I threw this one just in on a whim. It's a book that I kind of just wanted an excuse to read, so it was sitting on my shelf and I was like, I'll throw that in. But I wasn't expecting it to get very many votes, but it's moving on for the final vote, so we'll see. Donna Tartt's The Secret History. This one came in first in the long list poll. People really want to read this. I really want to read this. We'll see. I feel like this has the best shot at winning, but you never know. You never know. The other 2 books that came in were The Green Mile by Stephen King and Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. I'm surprised that this one made it through as well because it was, again, more of just that's a cool title, and I think I've heard that's good, so let's throw it on the list, and people were pretty psyched on it. So one of those 4 is going to move on. Which one? I don't know. Do I have a preference? Not really. I kind of would be psyched to read any one of those books. I think Secret History or Jurassic Park is going to take it, but we'll see. I'm going to post the shortlist poll probably today because, again, this long list isn't going to change. So I'll post the top 4 poll today, and we'll see which one's going to take it. Give people a chance to go get whichever book wins if they don't own it. If you'd like to join the book club, the link will be down below. This has been week 17 of Books Being Sick. Thank you for being here. I am really enjoying doing this so much. I got some new multivitamins here. This is cardiovascular and cognitive support. So really excited to just be better. You know what I mean? I don't know why I shared that. This has been week 17 of Books Being Sick. Thank you so much for being here again. If you want to like and subscribe to this thing, that'd be good and nice for me. But don't worry about it. Love you.